You know, I never met an old house I didn't like. You can learn a lot from them. I don't know about you, but I love to snoop around old houses because I get lots of ideas. This house in particular is very intriguing to me because of where it's located. You see, this house was built in 1859, just a year or so before the Civil War. This house is very near the Mississippi River. In fact, just over that way is a levee, and the river is on the other side of it. And if you look this direction, you see a gorgeous new bridge that takes you over the Mississippi River. But let's get back to the house. This house is in what is considered a modified Greek Revival style. And I just want to point out some things that have always been an inspiration to me and also factored in to the way in which I built the house at Moss Mountain Farm. Take the color, for instance. You see this butter yellow was in style guides in the mid-19th century. I borrowed this butter yellow and did a lime wash on the masonry or the brick walls of the exterior of the house, and then also used this white or cream-colored trim to really make it pop. So let's go on up on the porch. I want to point out a couple of things up here that are similar to what I did at my own place. For instance, take a look at these shutters that run from the floor all the way up to the top of the windows. Very impressive. I use these on the back porch of the house to close off the French doors that open up. Now these windows actually open, but you raise them up and people could walk from the inside out onto the porch. I want to point out this architectural detail. It's one that often goes missing in modern construction of porches. This is a pilaster or half column. So you have these large square columns all the way across the front. There are 4 of them. But when the porch returns back to the wall, it returns to this half column, which completes this as a room as far as I'm concerned. And if you take a look at the top of these square columns, you'll see the capital, which is made of a series of bands of wood or molding that cap it off, which is a very important component. And we did the same thing on the back porch as well as the side porches at the house. You know, I love the scale and size of these rooms. They're almost a perfect cube. The ceiling height here is 14 feet. So I didn't go 14 feet, I did 12-foot ceilings. But everything is sort of supersized. Just take a look at these windows, how large they are. The idea was to let a lot of natural light flood into the house, and I love that. That's one of the things about Greek Revival style that I really wanted to copy. And these windows, if you look closely, the muntin, or the division between, is very thin and narrow, and that was important to me as well to get that detail just right. Now there are transoms in this house, and I used a transom over the front and back door in the central hall, and the transoms allowed air to circulate through the house without actually having to open up the doors. The baseboard, look how oversized the baseboard is. I followed the same idea in my house, made them much bigger, and also look at this plinth block detail that really is the base of this window surround. You also see the same plinth block design around the door surrounds. And look how wide the boards are that go up, and the wider pediment, the treatment at the top of the window. The scale, it really all works. Notice that the columns supporting either side of this lintel, if you will, is a column, and the detail at the top is very similar to the columns that we see on the front of the house. So this motif is being repeated throughout the house. If you go upstairs in this house, where there are private chambers, the bedrooms, there's no crown molding at all. And that's the direction I chose to take when we were designing the interior spaces for all of the rooms in the farmhouse. None of them have any crown molding whatsoever. And another thing that I've learned from prowling around old houses over the years is that if you take color that is light, such as this, it'll make the room feel much more expansive. And I did that in the farmhouse. So all the entire downstairs is painted one single color, a very, very soft, pale shade of green. And here you see this ensemble of rooms. These are all painted sort of a soft cream or plaster color, which even though they're big rooms, it just makes them feel even more expansive. And I gotta tell you, I love decorative finishes. For instance, take a look at this graining. This looks like oak, but actually this is a pine door painted to look like oak. And on this back side, well, it's the color of rosewood. Again, a decorative finish or grained rosewood. Often what they would do is take an inferior wood or a wood that was very common or inexpensive like pine. In this case, this is a pine door, and paint a different finish on it, a finish of a finer wood. So you can get a great effect that way. So you can see there's so many things you can pick up by going around and looking at period houses that are great examples of a particular style. If you've enjoyed this, share it with a friend and make sure you subscribe to ehowhome.